So the other day I made a video where I attempted to get to round 50 using the Weevil. At the end of that video, I booted up Origins on Black Ops 3, and alongside it, I also loaded up the Cold War Zombies mod. This mod basically turns your BO3 games into a Cold War light. We'd have all the Cold War guns, and even a few of the wonder weapons, mainly being the ray gun and the Ray-K. Ammo boxes replace gobblegums, and there is also no perk limit, and also just a bunch of new perks that get added. I loaded up this mod in my Weevil video to see if it would make things a little bit easier. Basically, I just wanted to be able to get ammo whenever I wanted. In the end, things didn't plan out how I wanted, but it did get me thinking. Ever since Cold War was released, there have been countless people slating it for being too easy, and so I thought surely, if Cold War is so easy, then the Cold War Overhaul mod for Black Ops 3 should make the game a breeze, right? Well, that's what we're gonna try and find out today. As this idea came to me whilst I was playing Origins, this is where we'll be attempting to get to round 50. Now, I'm not gonna lie, these first two attempts are awful. I mean, complete bottom of the barrel. I was also contemplating not even showing these attempts at all, but content, so oh well. Things start off very easy in this mod. You spawn with the 1911, which I won't lie, isn't actually that good. But what does make this easy early game is how quickly you can get your hands on double tap, as the machine is constantly on and also located at Gen 2. Now usually you'd have to spend 30,000 points on Origins to get your free double tap, but today that doesn't have to be done, as I can just simply buy it whenever I want. So all you have to do to get the perk is open 2 doors, and then literally every gun is good for a minimum of 20 rounds no matter what. So with double tap bought, I progressed the early rounds without even trying. I bought the Milano as well, which just made everything even more easy. But then round 10 happened. At this point I moved through basically the entire map, but then on round 10, Gen 3 gets attacked by the Templars, so I go running over, but I end up getting myself downed, you know, in typical Satch fashion. But oh well, we can recover. Yeah, no. I then died like 20 seconds later. Then I ran it back. When I ran it back, the same thing happened again, only this time it was Gen 5 and round 13. I head over to take out the Templars, get trapped, and go down. This time I almost get recovered, but I end up taking another down as I was taking out zombies, and honestly, just not really paying attention. So at this point I'm thinking, well, this is a bust. Clearly something's going wrong here. But I gave it one more run. After spawning, I did the usual, get power turned on, grind together some points, and leave spawn at the end of round 2. Shortly later, and once I had Gen 2 turned on, I could hit the box, and the first spin, I get the Stoner. Actually, a great pull, and a personal favourite of mine from Cold War. Gen 3 is turned on a few rounds later, and I pick myself up Speed. Usually, I don't like buying Speed straight away, as it's quite expensive, and early game, I'm pretty stingy with my points on Origins, but considering I had an LMG, that took an absolute age to reload, I thought that maybe this time it's probably worth it. I followed up my purchase of Speed by buying Quick Revive and Double Tap, just to try and mitigate any possible early game blunders. Round 7, I get Gen 4 turned on and buy Jug. At this point, I'm feeling pretty good. I've got a great set of perks and also a great gun. Round 8, and we all know what that means. The Panzer. No matter how well I'm doing early game, the round 8 Panzer will always get me feeling all anxious, but this time, there wasn't really much to be anxious about, as the Stoner made light work of them. Sure, there was a little running away, as you know, the Stoner's an LMG. These things are heavy, and I didn't want to risk getting my fat ass stuck. But when it came down to fighting, the Stoner was always winning that fight. With the Panzer taken care of, I got the final 2 generators turned on, grabbed myself Stown Up and ICU, and once the final generator was on, I also picked up PhD. It's now round 11, and we are doing very well. Before heading back over to Pack-a-Punch, I bought the XM4. I did use this in the last run, and this thing was slapping these zombies, so I thought why not run it back. And on round 13, I got it Pack-a-Punched. From here on, there wasn't much else I needed to do other than buy the rest of my perks, which there was like 8 still to get. And the other thing I needed to do was just kill zombies, which with these modded guns wasn't going to be a problem. Now I'm here and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Maybe the Cold War Overhaul mod will make this just as easy as what a normal Cold War run is. Which, by the way, I think is one of the dumbest criticism that game ever got. You know, it's not 2011 anymore, people. Video games change, and with that, maybe the difficulty gets adjusted and made more accessible to a wider audience. Plus, with the likes of Cold War, if you are someone still upset over the difficulty, go run a game of Mao Totem with the Rampage Inducer active. Sure, it's not the most hardcore, oh my god, this is the most difficult thing I've ever done, but it definitely brings forward a greater challenge than any of the classic zombie games like BO1 and BO2. I'd even say difficulty-wise, it's kind of on par with Black Ops 3. I think the only exception here is World at War. That game is just perpetually difficult. Also doesn't help that it feels like it was made in a shed. But anyway, things do actually get much better for me in this game. As on round 17, I only go and pull the death machine from the box. I didn't even know this was a thing in this mod. I also got the M16, which is always going to be a top tier pick for me. However, on round 19, it would be ruined as I pack-a-punch the M16 and it gets this horrible 3x sight, which can't be changed. Even though the gun was great, this sight was not, and because I'm a petty bitch. On round 20, I swapped it out for a Pellington. Also, early in that same round, I pack-a-punch the death machine, which gets renamed to Satan. And I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty perfect name, as I straight up think it may be the most busted thing I've ever used in Black Ops 3 Zombies. Well, that would be until I got myself the ray gun Mark 1 from the box on round 25. Now I know, the Mark 1 doesn't exactly spark much excitement in today's day and age, even though I do still get giddy when I see it. And this time that giddiness was justified, because this wasn't just any normal ray gun. When Cold War first launched, the ray gun in that game was straight up busted, and I mean like stupidly busted. It was capable of one-shotting most regular enemies all the way up to the low 40s, but after many nerfs, it was still left in good shape, but a shell of its former self. Well, that was until I picked this little blasty boy up. On round 26, unpack-a-punched, it was able to one-shot zombies pretty comfortably, but then I upgraded it, and it became a whole new beast. This gun was now able to take out full waves of zombies, like full waves of 24 in just 4 rounds. Just straight up 4 bullets until the high 30s, low 40s. 24 zombies killed with 4 rounds. Like, what even is that? I know there are obviously more powerful weapons that can do that in a singular shot, like the Scavenger, Thunder Gun, yada yada yada, but this was a ray gun. On round 35, taking down full wave with basically nothing. Like, it was great. Things only got better for me as well. On round 38, I was able to get the Mark II from the box. So I now had the Mark I and Mark II ray guns and a death machine. That was also still nuts at this round, by the way. This round 50 was already all but confirmed. The Mark II ray gun was pack-a-punched and used for a few rounds after being acquired, but I wasn't really satisfied with it. Probably because the Mark I was just so ridiculous. But there was one other gun in the box that I hadn't yet used, and that was the Ray K. So on round 41, I headed over to the box and started spinning for the Ray K. I was a little worried I wouldn't be able to get it, as I already had both ray guns, but after only a few spins of the box, out it pops. Out comes the Ray K, and I swapped out the Mark II for its much bigger and better counterpart. I know I could have got rid of the death machine and had a trifecta of ray guns, but when the death machine can take down the Panzer in a literal second, I think I'm going to keep a hold of it, you know? The Ray K was just as expected. Absolutely insane. After pack-a-punching it, the Ray K was also unstoppable. It didn't have the firepower or the blast radius of the Mark I, which I was surprised about, but it was still a complete monster and very capable of mowing down full hordes of the undead, even once I was on the round 50 approach. But all good things must come to an end, and in this case, a pretty devastating one. It's round 49. So far, I have gone flawless, which, now I say it loud, doesn't actually sound that impressive, considering I was using some of the most broken guns I'd ever used in zombies, but 49 rounds. Flawless, all came crashing down. Now when I say crashing down, I mean it crashed and burned. I take my first down of the game as I'm taking out my horde of zombies. I'm at the giant path near the little catwalk where the lightning staff part is at the excavator, and I just get overwhelmed by zombies and take it down. But I don't let that stop me. I gather a few of my perks back and I'm headed over to Quick Revive, where I get cornered by zombies. Now in my recovery, I hadn't fired the ray gun yet, and well, when I did, its blast radius was so large, it killed me. Almost immediately. This gun is just so powerful that if you don't have PhD, it's a literal death trap. And that is how my run ends, on round 49. And I won't lie, I was in disbelief, but sometimes that's just the way it goes. So this mod definitely makes this game a bit easier, mainly thanks to the wonder weapons being quite frankly insane. But thank you for watching, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.